Ha-Yoon woke up feeling relaxed and refreshed. She couldn't remember the last time she had such a good sleep. Seeing her surroundings, she put together what had happened. A part of her suspected that the tea she drank was a bit stronger than what it normally was. Considering how she slept, Ha-Yoon didn't blame Yi for doing what he did. Turning her head, she was alarmed to see Han resting in a chair. Looking down, she realized that he was holding her hand. She could feel her face heating up after seeing him tenderly holding her hand. Looking at his face, she wondered who he was and where he came from. Though he looked young, she always got an impression that he was older than he appeared. Feeling his hand on hers, she left behind those thoughts and gently removed her hand from his. This action made Yi slowly wake up, and the two ended up staring into one another's eyes. Good morning, Ha-Yoon stammered, and blushed from giving such a reaction. Seems like you had a good night's sleep? Yi inquired, smiling at her reaction. It was adequate. She pouted at his impertinence. She was his teacher, and he was actually treating her like a little kid. That is good. Judging by the smell in the air, I believe breakfast is being served, he commented. How about you stay here, and I'll bring you some food. Ha-Yoon watched as she casually walked out of the room, the cloth that separated the room fluttering over him. After he had left, she thought about how his hands felt on hers, and it made her smile. She slapped both of her hands onto her cheeks, feeling the sting. What are you thinking? She berated herself. You already understand your place in this world, she bitterly thought to herself, thinking about what he would think of the thoughts that went through her mind. Thinking about him, she realized that her body wasn't reacting how it usually had. She wondered if it had anything to do with the way they were sucked into that mana crystal. Am I free? She thought to herself. Tears began to well up in her eyes, but were quickly wiped away. No, the moment we get back, he will rectify the situation. A part of her thought about what Yi had told her, and a thought crossed her mind. Before it could fully form, she vehemently shook her head. No, I will not jeopardize someone for my own issues. Ha-Yoon heard the sound of Yi coming back and the smell of food wafting ahead of him. She quickly tried to fix her face with the blanket and thought cheerful things to hide how she was feeling. Looks like you are in for a treat, Yi said, placing the food on her lap. You enjoy the food, and if you need, there is a washing area in this tent. He gave her a cheerful smile and proceeded to leave the room. Looking down at the food, she was blown away by how extravagant it looked. Not even at the man's house was the food this great. Bringing the food to her mouth, the flavors exploded inside. Delicious, she exclaimed, and began shoveling the food into her mouth. After eating the food, she got up from the bed, setting aside the tray for the maid to take away. Just thinking that there were maids as he summoned made her feel like this was all a dream. How could one person have such abilities? It was as if he was a god that was fooling around. Laughing at the thought, she proceeded to remove her leather armor and clothing. Being a former adventurer, she always made sure to wear protection which was both comfortable and practical. You never knew when you would be on a mission that demanded sleeping outside under a tree. Leaving the bedchamber, she saw that there was another room that had a bathing area set up. There was an area to wash and soak inside of a copper tub. Sitting on one of the stools, she began to clean. Lathering herself up, she was reminded of who owned her. There were lashes across her body and various burn marks. He was never kind and enjoyed a wide variety of techniques. The only thing that made it bearable was the drugs he made her take. She remembered all those times where everything was in a fog. During those times, every humiliating and painful thing made her feel amazing. Covered in soap suds, she held herself, feeling ashamed at how she could enjoy such things. How he laughed whenever she begged for more, with a giant smile on her face. He would make her look into a mirror so that she could see the kind of disgusting expression she was making. Unable to hold back the feelings, she cried alone.